they love 9-inch, so you're gonna see a lot of cool action, I think, on the ETH side that you're not gonna see on the Pulsechain side, which is really good for 9-inch holders because you own bags of both.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that I would like to get on top of, right? Pretty on top of what's launching and what's good on Pulse Chain. What might be good things to hold on the ETH side when this sucker goes?
I just think that there's going to be a lot of arbitrage going on, right? Obviously, because two chains, basically it's two different dexes, but it's kind of the same. I think it's easy to overcomplicate it for yourself. I think, especially in the beginning, the best thing to do is to hold on to your tokens, maybe participate in the yield, obviously, because in the beginning, the yield is always going to be the best. That's just how it works. Because I think there's going to be a lot of crazy arbitrage going on between not only between the 9-inch tokens, like the ETH versus the Pulse, but also between like the tokens that are launching on respective chains. So yeah, what do you think? Do you think are you more bullish on the ETH or the Pulse chain of 9-inch?
I am bullish on the ETH side. I think both will do well. I think that the ETH side is going to bring more eyes to Pulse Chain than any of the other marketing things that any of these goofballs out in Twitter right now are presenting. I think it's going to bring a lot of people over there. And I can't wait for that. It'll be great for Pulse Chain, but I think dollars will be made on the ETH side first.
Do you know what would be cool though? The launch strategy. To talk about the launch strategy, what that entails, the possible ups, downs, and what people have to gain or lose, etc. Like, for instance, one of the main things is people seem to think that sacrificers don't have an advantage of any kind.
What one advantage that the sacrificers will have is they'll be able to pre-position their LP in that 24-hour period prior to the launch. So you won't be able to do that
Yep.
if you're waiting day one to get your tokens. I think that's pretty badass. And I have
I
tons of
mean,
tokens on the Pulse Chain side to pair with those 9-inch tokens. I don't have a whole lot to pair with ETH. So that I'm trying to figure out which ones I should get for those pairings, which farms might be good.
well, we'll know that in the first 24 hours, sir.
But another huge advantage that sacrificers have, of course, is just actually having tokens on both chains right from the start. You know, with most things, even if there's like a bit of an initial sell-off, if we have like a 30% dip, some people are going to be crying and not realizing that they're still up in value because they've got two chains.
I can't believe how many people in our pool had no idea that they were getting tokens on both chains. They thought that if they sacrificed ETH, they were getting ETH tokens, and if they sacrificed anything on the Pulse chain, they were getting Pulse tokens. They didn't get that. It was kind of crazy.
Hey, by that calculation, though, how much was the sacrifice in ETH, though? Because I think I can show you how strong the ETH side is going to be.
I think like what got sacrificed was more of a reflection of the price of that token at that moment. For example, if you compare it to the rest of the tokens that were sacrificed, there was surprisingly little hex sacrificed. Like a very small percentage compared to the other tokens. I think that's just mainly because Hex was like down 98% or something at that point, and so people didn't really want to sacrifice that maybe. Because so I wouldn't read into it too much, like how much we got on ETH or Binance or Pulse. I think that was just like a reflection of the market prices.
Shit, I wish I would have sacrificed more PX and shit, or PulseX. You know what I mean? Oh man,
I have a very good feeling that sacrifice is never gonna, it's not gonna hurt your bags.
You know what I'm saying? I got on day one sacrifice. I was like, damn, because I've been hearing about this for a little while, and so yeah, no, I did my biggest bag on day one.
As you all know, we're waiting for the audits to come back before we launch the project. I still keep seeing some, are we launching anytime soon? We're still waiting on the audits to come back. Unfortunately, the auditor that we used, I thought the whole crypto space would be more like global, open 24/7. But due to the 9 to 5 hours recent holidays, they've just taken their sweet time. It shouldn't have taken all this time, so we filed a complaint and was promised to get more quicker actions. The other firm that we're using have been terrific to work with. Maybe something between 1 and 4 weeks. Don't quote me on the number because it's not up to us. It actually just depends on how quick they react to our updates. So next thing is partnerships. Yeah, we have some really exciting partnerships coming up. protocols and projects, but also with profiles within the crypto industry. Testnet users, I'm sure you've all witnessed the many latest features that have been updated into the app.
Right, and we're doing a day to get in position before you start earning any yield, so that there's not going to be, we don't have anyone crying that, oh, I'm at work or asleep when it launched and I didn't get the full yield. There's going to be 24 hours to have your tokens, get in position, whether it's providing liquidity or single-sided staking, and then after 24 hours, you'll start at a given time. That's when BBC will start being earned and liquidity available and so on.
That's great.
Yeah, Pulsechain is going to be probably the best developed blockchain on the market. Still warming up.
Plus, we also make it worth those DEX aggregators actually worth existing, because they actually have something to do, a way to route, and as well as some of those other new projects that probably aren't going to get a look on PulseX, having a place to earn yield or at least some decent liquidity. So
yeah, I just priced in some equipment to be a validator on the Pulsechain. I mean, you guys are running on Ethereum and Pulsechain, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, validating doesn't need a huge processor. The most important things are a decent amount of reasonably fast RAM, and most importantly a fast NVMe disk, ideally, because the I/O per second matters. Ideally you want at least a 2 terabyte disk. 32 gig of RAM is ideal. An 8-core processor is great, doesn't have to be super fast, anything from the last couple of years. So you can get a nice, fairly small form factor, like a NUC or an Asus P51, I think they're called. Fairly small form factor, fairly quiet little box for about $1,000.